Hey guys, good afternoon. Let's wait for others to join, then we start. In the next few minutes, we'll start, please. Let's just wait for others to join. Thank you.
Hello, hello.
Hey guys, good afternoon. I think we can start now. So I want to use this opportunity to welcome every one of us to our second day of our section. And I believe we will learn a lot from this section, as one of our mentors will be giving us more information on how we can pass our exam. And I want to wish every one of us a success. So without wasting much of our time, I think Samuel, you can go ahead and start now. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's session. Okay, my name is Buche Buche, and I'm a mentor for this Microsoft and ALC Africa Skills Lab. Okay, and today we're going through something brief, what we should know and what we should expect for forthcoming examinations. Okay, I would love to share my screen. Let me do that. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, I think we can all see my screen. Hello?
Yes, sure, we can see your
screen. Sure, we can see your screen.
Okay. That's right. Okay, so we had a session yesterday, and we're having the last session today. Okay, let us dive right into the matter for today. Okay, I'll just skip this. So we'll be using the DP100 as a case study. Okay, to prepare for the exam. I think yesterday we looked into AI 102, although we didn't go deep into what to expect for exactly what to expect for AI 102. But we'll give a general overview of what to expect and how to prepare, the mindset behind the exam. And the mindset behind these sets of exams is how do you go about it, okay? The first set of exams, we talked about, okay, what's the fundamentals, the words, okay, and then when to use a particular service above the other. But for this time around, we are looking at how to go about implementing our choice of service, okay? So it's a more particle-based exam. Yes, let me put it like that. is a more particle-based exam. Okay, so we have the first one, and the first thing you need to do is to schedule your exam. In our screen here, there's a there's a short steps, or the short steps to schedule your exam for the DP100. Now, this also applies to every other track, okay? But just using DP100 as a case study, okay? So you have to go to the link to schedule your exam. You basically have to log in, okay? Then you click on schedule exam. After you've identified the exam you will be writing, if it's DP100, AI102, or any other track, you find the track, okay, and then you click on schedule the exam, and you'll be able to pick a date within the deadline, okay. There's a deadline for writing our exams, and you use the voucher, you just continue. It's a pretty easy step, okay. Okay, so skills measured. Now this is the skills measured for the DP100 exam content, okay? There's also, every other track has its own, and it's also in the Microsoft Learn website, okay? It's also there. You can go and check yours out, and you should be able to have an idea of what you should focus on, okay? From here, you can see that deploy and operationalize machine learning solutions carry 35 to 40% of the questions. So when learning, you already know where to measure your learning on. And then the next one you'll be thinking about is manage Azure resources for machine learning. It carries 25 to 30%. And then the third one you should be considering is run experiments and train models. And the last but not the least, okay, is implement responsible machine learning. It carries just 5 to 10%. So basically, you are looking at if you could get all your questions in deploying and operationalize machine learning solutions and manage Azure resources for machine learning. You're already talking about having up to 60%, okay? Up to 60% of your questions are already answered. Okay, you've gotten 60% of the questions that you have been given. And if you can be able to get at least 60%, what you just need to do is to get 10% from run experiments and train models or implement responsible machine learning, and you're on your road to receiving your certification, okay? Because what is needed is at least 70% pass, okay, for you to be able to get your certification, 70% pass. The learning paths, okay, so there are different learning paths like you see for the DP100, and we'll just look at the DP100 case study, for example. Like I said, we're using DP100 as a case study. Here, 102 and other tracks have their own learning content and what to expect, okay? And you can read through those things, okay? But this is a carefully drafted learning content for DP100. I'll just, okay, so the first one we have is creating machine learning model, okay? And creating machine learning model. So not so many questions come from this, since the objective is on how to run, like I said, the how is on how to run models workload on Azure platform. You're expected to understand the 3 machine learning tasks, that's classification, regression, and forecasting. You're expected to have knowledge of the size kits, non-fee models. You also have knowledge in data exploration, model training, and evaluation methods using Python code, okay? The next one we'll be looking at is use visual tools to create machine learning models with Azure machine learning. So you're expected to understand how to create. So like we said, I'll just go, sorry. So you are, when you use visual tools to create machine learning models with Azure machine learning, you're expected to understand how to create workspace, how to, like I said earlier, the emphasis is how to. So your experiments, your exercises, it's needful that you master them. So you're expected to understand how to create workspace, create a training pipeline, that's data ingestion, transformation, and evaluation. You're expected to know how to create an inference pipeline. You're expected to be able to convert, okay, I think we'll get there. Okay, we're expected to revise on how you move the pipeline from, yes, so know how to convert from pipeline to inference, okay? Pipeline from training to inference for either with time or batch service consumption. Note, you need this to connect to your deployed service from a client application, okay? And you have the REST endpoint for your service. You have the primary key for your service, okay? These are things you need to know for the DP100. Like I said, it's just a case study. Look at what the training of pipeline to inference pipeline, okay? Training pipeline to inference, could be able to convert or change the training pipeline to an inference pipeline. You should know the steps, step by step. What comes first, what comes second, what you should do first, what you should do second, what you should do third, and so on. So it is for every other track. For all the exercises that you have, you should know what to do. What to do, all the exercises, every step is important, okay? And the order in which the steps come is also important, okay? And the next is build and operate machine learning solutions with Azure machine learning, okay? So many questions come from this part, like we saw when I was making the introduction, okay? So the percentage for the number of questions to expect from each of the modules, or yes, each of the modules you have in your different track is also in your Microsoft learning platform, okay? In the Microsoft learning platform, the percentages are there. So you go there and check for your own track, okay? Yeah, for this, you expect to understand the use of Python SDK for complete end-to-end machine learning lifecycle. That is from training, evaluation, deployment, and monitoring stage. Okay, so after revising basically your your content, yes. After revising your content, the next thing you should be thinking of is to go through the exercises, okay? For everybody, not just for DP100, for everybody, you go through your exercises, okay? You can use Sandbox for that, okay? Go through your exercises, look at how, step by step, if possible, make notes. Make a short note, okay, of those steps, so you can easily go over it again without visiting the Microsoft Learn website, okay? You have it handy. At night, you can just go glance through it before sleeping, okay? So you go through it again, and then after that, then that's when you can now concentrate on your dumps, okay? Although you can do the learning and the dumps side by side, just depending on the time that you have, enough time you have, or the time you have at your hand, okay? It's expected that you go through your dumps like 3 times, okay? We'll get to that. Okay, so this is a particular example for the Python SDK in an Azure machine learning workspace. Okay, in summary, for high assurance, 70% of questions are on the dumps. Now, this is for every track, not just for DP100. 70% of the questions are in the dumps. They are in the dumps, but it's a little bit tricky, okay? So while you may see a question that was in the dumps in your exams, they don't usually come in the same exact format you see them in the dumps, okay? So in the dumps, you may have a question and you have options, okay? And they like, okay, let's say for A is equals to 1, B is equals to 2, C is equals to 3, D equals to 4. Okay, that's what you have in your dumps. But in the exam proper, you see A is equals to 3, B is, yes, A is equals to 3, B is equals to 4. You know, the numbers are scattered, the options are scattered. The same question, but scattered options. So that's why it is important you go through your dumps like 3 times to avoid that confusion in your head. But if you go through it once and you go to the exam, I tell you, you will be confused, okay? So it's advisable you go through it up to 3 times. And those 3 times should not be on the day of the exam. It can be, okay, 3 days before the exam, you go through it the first time, 2 days before the exam, you go through it again. On the day of the exam, you go through it again. Let there be this time space to allow your brain store, let the information go from your short-term memory to your long-term memory, okay? Just give it time. Then there are also differentiated questions in the dumps, and this is the same for all the tracks. Okay, like the AI 102 was formerly called AI 100. Okay, they added some stuff to the AI 100 and made it AI 102. The same thing for the DP 100, okay, and other tracks. They are adding things regularly. They are removing things regularly, okay, as Microsoft improves, as updates come for the Azure platform, there's also updates for the exams. All questions asked are based on the learning path topics, yes. For the DP100, there's a disclaimer that 1 or 2 questions come from Git, okay? And I think you should familiarize yourself with Git. You should all know how to use Git, okay? So that should be pretty easy. So mistakes to avoid. A lot has changed in the exam structure. The DOMS has a lot of depreciated, like I said, questions. Make sure you have at least 10 minutes of answering case study questions, which often come towards the end of the exam, okay? Another thing I would like to say is, please don't rush, okay? Don't be in a haste to finish. The time you have is way sufficient. I'm speaking from the perspective that I've written this exam, and I think the last one I wrote, I had about 1 hour remaining when I was done with the exam. Yes, okay, not exactly 1 hour. I think like 53 minutes was still remaining, and I was done with the exam. Okay, so it is very important. Okay, take your time. Don't rush. Don't rush. You have enough time to answer all the questions. But still, even as you're not rushing, don't be too slow. Okay, don't be too slow. Keep up with pace with time. Okay, don't say, okay, because I have enough time, I will not. No, keep up with the pace. Okay, and then you can easily ace this if you are familiar with the Azure Machine Learning SDK Python code. This is for the DP100. Okay. There are so many things to familiarize yourself with, but everything that's in that exam, 98% of what is in that exam, or 99% of what you find in your exam, that in your machine, in your Microsoft learning platform, okay? That in the modules you expected to cover, okay? So let's get it on, and I wish you good luck in your exams. Do I have any question?
Thank you. Plus. I do have a question actually.
I have a question.
Okay. Can you just raise your hand?
Oh, okay.
Okay, just raise your hand. Okay. So I'm just Oluseyi, please. Your question. Oluseyi, are you there?
Okay. Azure credits. How do we get Azure credits?
Okay, like
Hello?
you okay. For the Azure credits, is it for the projects or for
yes, for the projects.
Okay,
we didn't get credits this time around. Azure credits.
Okay,
for the project, yes. The Azure credits, how do you get them?
Yes, I always want to answer that. For the project, you guys have to hold on for the credit for the project. We are working on it. So very soon, we'll get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please. Okay.
Okay.
That was all.
Next.
Yes. I was going to ask about the credit, but she's already answered. The other thing also is, I had wanted to ask that I know that when you click on whatever exam it is you want to do, you're taken to, there's a learning path. And from my own experience, I've never used the dumps. I have never used the dumps. I just read what I'm able to read, and I go into the exam, and it has worked for me. So just for clarity's sake, the learn path, is it enough for these associate exams? Is that what you're trying to say? Tell us, rather.
Okay, yes, it is enough.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then the second thing is, when are these vouchers coming? Sincerely, I know it's not easy coordinating, a program like this, but to be very honest, the way the thing has been done, the vouchers are not coming when we're told to expect it. It takes the excitement out of the whole program, sincerely. It just takes the excitement out. Like mentally, you've already prepared yourself that, oh, at this time, I'm going to write this exam. And you've moved things around in your life, to walk around. You've planned your life around that period, and then to not have it when you're told it will come. It's like, it just creates a lot of, it creates issues for people.
Yes, I understand you, Tokumbo. Yes, I truly understand you. But we are very, very sorry for the delay. When I mean sorry, we are very, very sorry for the delay. But believe me, before now till Monday, your voucher, you'll get a voucher. Before now till Monday, you get a voucher. Yes. Just make sure you fill that form, that link that was sent to Slack channel. For those people that are here to get the voucher, just make sure you fill the form. Yes. So don't worry, your vouchers are coming.
Yes, I filled the one on Slack, but even before that, I mean, if you remember, I had actually tagged you and Cliff Gore in Slack that I got this email and about filling form if you've done if you've booked your exams. But I now went back to that form and I realized that there actually was provision for you to signify if you didn't have a voucher. So I went ahead and filled. But that was even before, that was some days ago, before I now saw the one in Slack today.
So that's the thing you want people that.
But I hope also that by the time I book the exam, how do I, because how am I going to be able to now refill that form to show that I've booked? Because it appears to say that you've already responded. So how do I change my response when eventually I get the voucher and I'm able to book my exam?
Okay, don't worry about that. When that time comes, we'll let you know what to do.
Okay.
Thank you. So We also have one of our mentors that have something to say. Benjamin Ajibade, I think you can take over from Samuel. Samuel, really, really appreciate you. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Benjamin, you can take over now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ifeoluwa. Thank you, Samuel. I hope you can all hear me.
Loud and clear, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. You can go on.
Yes, I would just want to go over just briefly over the what Samuel just presented. So I would like to share my screen so that you can all see it, because I believe it's very important. I mean, it's a very important part of the examination. I mean, for the DP 100 now. So can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet, Ben.
How about this?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I believe someone has gone through like a brief overview, but I want you to get a very short summary again. I'm not saying this is like the whole thing, the exam, but after you have read through again, I just want you to notice this page. And I mean, maybe some hour or some few hours before exam, you can just go through it as a means of revision. And trust me, I've gone through this part, so I know this is a very important part that you must take cognizance of. So right here, you can see the first one by the left is how to create a workspace. You must know how to create a workspace using the SDK. Then you must know how to connect to a workspace. These are implementation questions that are pending for you to answer in the exam, or so on the hot seat rather. And you must know how to use an Azure machine learning experiment. That is, you must understand the run context when you talk about you want to run log, run.log, run.log list for a table of list, run.log image for images. So all these you must have an understanding of. So over here, you see you must understand how to run a script as an experiment. That is, you create a script config with the script run config class. And you also must know how to submit an experiment using the experiment.submit class. Sorry, experiment class and a submit method of experiment class. So all this, it could look so difficult for someone that is not familiar with programming. But if you have a foundation in Java, you understand what we mean by the class and the method encoding. So an example of a class and method is here. So if you want to train a script, you have this kind of code to write. I mean, you might not be able to write it completely, but you must know what next after this, because in the exam hall, they might just take this off and say that what are you supposed to have here? So, and if you want to run a script, you must have the source directory, you must have the script name, where it is, how it is named in the source directory. Then you must have an environment to run it. So all these things you must take cognizance of, you must take it as very important. So you should be able to understand what next. When you say you want to submit experiment, which class are you going to call, and what are the attributes of the class you are going to call? Then I think you can just go over it again and get familiarized with it. So another one is you must understand how to register models. After you have created your models, you've trained your models. So you want to after you have created the model, you want to register it so that next time you can make use of it. So there's a way to go over it, and this shows you the link to on the learning part. So if you click on the link here, you get straight, it directs you straight to the learning part. So another one is how you work with data store. I was listening as I think Tokubo was asking if this learning part, if it's enough for passing this examination. I say yes. If you can go over and over it again and get familiarized with it, I mean, it's very, very easy for you to ace it. So another one, you must understand how to create, manage, compute target with SDK. So you want to run your training, which compute target are you supposed to attach? Which instance are you supposed to pick to run your inference? So all these kind of questions you must be able to understand, I mean, up to a level so that during the exam, you might take it as an added point. So then parallel pipeline steps as well. There are different pipeline steps. Well, I will encourage you to focus on Python script step and parallel run step. I think we have like 4, but these are the 2 that you need to focus on. So the Python script step is run on a compute target, while the parallel run step is run on multiple nodes. So another one is using published pipeline. You must understand this and at least have a very good knowledge of how to use SDK to publish a pipeline, then to schedule the pipeline by calling the schedule recurrence class and also the create method in a schedule class. So the last one is to use data store parts to trigger scheduling. That is, the trigger part is like, okay, when the model sees another data in the data store, if there's a change in data store, so it should schedule another training. So all these you might want to go over them again because I'm very sure these are very, very important parts of the examination. So quite a few numbers of them I might not be able to touch because the time is short, but try and consume the learning part completely. So this is I've attached the learning part for you here. You can just click on it and it directs you there. So notice, let me also give you some hint. There's no way you are going to write this exam. You won't go through creating an explainer. We have 3 types: mimic, tabular, PF, high. So you need to go through it. Then hyperparameter tuning, you need to understand how to use SDK to tune your parameter. Actually, you can use AML designer, but the questions are much more focused on how to use SDK to tune your parameter. So then understand monitoring and data drift detector. So all these, I believe if you put them into revision, I believe you are going to get them right. So I thank you for listening. I believe that short nugget also is going to be very, very useful for you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome. So, Ifeoluwa, is there any other question? I mean, not question on voucher or.
Ready. So, if you have any question to ask him based on what they have just said, please go on.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Benaji.
You're welcome, sir.
Please, how can we have access to that page? Yeah. This is
Yeah,
Bolario. Thank you, my mentor.
Thank you for asking that question.
Thank you, sir.
I actually shared it with Ife earlier on, so I would encourage Ife to, maybe she can share it with others as well. I don't know how she's going to do that, but I believe she's up to that.
Yes, I will send it on Slack channel so that everyone can have access to it. Yes. So is there any other question?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Thanks for this information. It really goes a long way. My question is that regarding the SDK, or I mean, regarding the DOMs, I don't know, DOMs covers most of the things that I just mentioned.
Yes, DOMS has many of those areas, but DOMS has a lot of questions that have been deprecated since May. So if you are not very careful, you'll be jacking something that's outside your scope, and that is not good for you. I mean, when you want to write exam in a few weeks to come, you need to concentrate on what is going to happen. That's why I just gave that overview. Although in the dump, you still have some of those, but there are going to be newer questions as the revision takes place on the examination, on the certification examination. Do you understand what I've just said?
Yeah, I understood. But what about the DOMs that are just, I'm not trying to limiting myself to DOMs, but while like the last time I checked, I observed that the DOM was up there around July or something.
Yeah.
I've been getting familiar to the questions, likely question, like the kind of question you should be expecting. I think it will help one way or the other as well. So that's why I'm asking all these questions.
Definitely, it will help. It will help. But I don't want you to just be restricted to dump. I want you to explore so that if there's any tweak, you might not be found wanting.
Sorry, last one. Regarding this subscription, I think my subscription has already expired, and probably maybe like I know I was thinking of, okay, let me just more of practicals, like just to try to put some things together. The more you move, I believe in practicals so as to be kind of a reminder for you, as a reminder for you when you forget something and you quickly pick it up from there. So regarding the subscription, is there any way someone can get the free another credit or something that will enhance the the understanding of the whole concept?
That will be left for Ifeoluwa to answer. I'm not an authority in that aspect. I'm sorry.
On that, we will let you know. Yes. We will let you know later. Do you understand me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. So I don't know if anybody has any question to ask again.
I have a question, please.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, in regards to the exam, you guys said that we should schedule the exam within now to 27th. And then when the time frame I will be able to write the exam is during weekends, because I can't be able to write the exam during work hours. And then I've scheduled the exam for Sunday, but then the vouchers is not yet available. Like you said, it from now till Monday. I don't know if it's possible that the voucher can come within today or Sunday, or if you can extend the deadline to probably 29th. That's the next weekend. Yes, that will possible.
Thank you for that. We'll look into it. Don't worry. Yes, you're welcome. So thank you so much, Benjamin, for that wonderful presentation. I really, really appreciate it. So guys, I really appreciate you guys for joining. It's really good. And so since we have heard from our mentors since yesterday about the forthcoming examination and certification, I hope we have learned a lot from them. And I believe we can all ace this examination. I believe and I trust you guys that you guys will make us proud that you are going to ace this exam. So this is where we'll draw the curtain down. If you have any questions or any complaint whatsoever, don't hesitate to write to us on Slack channel. And I wish everyone all the best. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ma. It's nice seeing your face. So I'll just be hearing if we don't know his
Thank
face.
you. Thank you.
Welcome. So